What's going on, NFL world? This is your boy Niner Game Podcast back in the building with another video. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notification so I keep you up to date on everything and anything NFL and San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. This game's pretty much over, man. You know what I'm saying? I figured we jump in and go ahead and go live for the finale of the Super Bowl there. I didn't really watch a lot of it. I didn't really pay too much attention. I watched more so the pregame stuff only because this was the situation, when it came down to everything here as far as the Seahawks and the Patriots and whatnot. It's 29-13. It's the fourth quarter. Patriots have the ball, but it is what it is. I'm going to say this right now. And that's just because what's up, Bob? Um, yeah. Hey, look, they took the bull by the horns and they made sure they did what they needed to do. I'll give you the final numbers and the final update on everything. But hey, Mom. But the reason that I state that this is an indictment on Kyle Shanahan is because you have two coaches in your division that did it quicker, better, and faster. And I know the quicker and faster, same difference. But either way, I said they're synonyms. But either way, they did it faster than you did. And this is an indictment on the 9-year career of Kyle Shanahan as a head coach. Let me tell you why. The reason being is because when you take a look at it, Sean McVay was the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. He started the same time as Kyle Shanahan. He got his first Super Bowl within 3 years of being a head coach. I know, I hate it too. But 3 years of being a head coach. And the number one thing that I'm going to say is before I go into the indictment of Kyle Shanahan and all that stuff, this is the worst thing that could have happened. The reason being is because we definitely ain't want Seattle winning on our field. Now, what I want people to think about it from a broad spectrum rather than minimalizing the win. You know what I'm saying? And trying to be homers. Like, open your mind, open your perspective to understanding what you get to do as a rival. Now, so shout out to the NFC West Roundtable. Love everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's on the Roundtable. I watch it. It is fantastic. It is great. Hosted by an AFC person by chance. He is a Buffalo Bills fan, and I know he's heartbroken because his Buffalo Bills couldn't get the job done. Josh Allen had nobody in his way, not a single soul of the top 5 in AFC quarterbacks. Were in his way, and he didn't get the job done. He couldn't get the job finished. But I digress. What I'm saying is, when you look at this, if I'm an opponent, I went into my rival's house and I won on your turf, the biggest game of the year. The only reason we play football all year long. If I go in to your house and get that W and I beat you to make sure that everything that you thought you could have had, everything could have run through Santa Clara. I stopped that. Let me explain something to you people. You would never stop me talking trash. If I am a Seattle Seahawk, if I am Jackson Smith and Jigba, if I'm anybody from the dark side of that defense, whether it be Kobe Bryant or Eamon Warry or Williams or anybody, Reek Woolen, I don't care who I am. If I'm on offense, like I said, Darnold, JSN, even though he's out right now, Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker III, Cooper Kupp. If I'm any of these players, anytime I play you, I will gladly remind you of what I did in your house. I will purposely Dennis Rodman you and try to get inside your head and tell you all kinds of crazy things, whether they happened or not. But I'm going to remind you, I celebrated in your house. I did it while you were at home, watching me in your house take over. Like, there's nothing that would stop me at all. Nothing that would stop me, period. You know what I mean? This part, we didn't really know what Sam would be. And remember, he did turn into a pumpkin last year. And this year in the playoffs, I'm not even going to lie to you, I think Sam Darnold has been very pedestrian for the most part. I think they have taken it out of his hands for the most part. He hasn't necessarily looked the greatest, but I get it. But for me personally, the reason why I state this is an indictment on Shanahan is because you have other head coaches who are getting over the hump and doing it in a lot quicker fashion. So the sad part is this year gave me more ammo. There are tons of people that are Kyle Shanahan stands. They love Kyle. He can do no wrong. Never file Kyle. Ryan Clark said that Kyle Shanahan deserves a lifetime contract for what he did this year. All of these things, and you got tons of people. I mean, I can't go into a Twitter Spaces without trolling and destroying the Twitter Spaces because people are always happy in there, and I come in and remind them of what Kyle Shanahan ain't done, and then they get upset. But it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, you have Sean McVay, who did it in his first 3 years. You now have Mike McDonald, who did it in his first 2 years. You have Nick Sirianni, who did it in, let me take a look here really quick. Because I think he did it in about 3 years. Yeah, he did it, let me see, Philly, 1, 2, 3. He did it in his first 3 years. Kyle Shanahan has tripled the amount of time that all of these head coaches have as a head coach, and he still has not gotten the job done. This is why I am so emphatic that you shouldn't be giving him an extension until he brings you in Lombardi. Kyle Shanahan, if I'm not mistaken, from most people I've heard, has 2 years left on his contract, this year and next year. And I believe this is the last year of John Lynch as the general manager. Here's my problem. If you give Kyle Shanahan an extension, why are you giving him an extension? Is it because 1 year out of the 9 years that he's been a head coach, he took the team to the playoffs when they were injured, when all of the other years seem to be forgotten by Niner fans that we had that were horribly injured, that were not great years, and he did not get this done? Some will say, well, he didn't have a quarterback. Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. Nobody thought he was going to do the things he did. Brock Purdy is a literal anomaly. So for everyone to jump on the, well, there's just this reason and that reason and this reason, you give all the excuses in the world. But this year, when we were injured because we made it, now there are no excuses. Oh, Kyle just so great. Kyle just great things, just like bread. He just coached them up. He's just such an amazing head coach. Is he? Kyle Shanahan, at one point in his coaching career, was the worst head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. You don't believe me? Look it up. That's literally what it was. Along with the fact that he is the only head coach that we've had that's lost multiple Super Bowls. Bill Walsh didn't lose multiple Super Bowls. He won. Erickson won. Harbaugh only lost 1. Kyle's lost 2. He lost one as a coordinator before he got here. Now, Kyle did bring up a nice little thing because I always said he's the opposite of his daddy. You know what I'm saying? Taking an L as an OC and taking 2 L's as a head coach. And his daddy, last time he won the Super Bowl as an OC, was our OC when we won. And then, of course, he went on to win 2 with the Broncos. And I guess he says his dad's been to 6 Super Bowls. He lost his first 3. And now he's saying, well, I got my first 3 out of the way. We don't want you getting your first 3 out of the way at all. We want you to get the job done, sir. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know all these other fans, these fair weather fans, you Twitter Spaces people, all of you dick riding Kyle Shanahan fans. Like, it's perfectly fine, man. I get it. That's your coach. You fine with that. But I could give you a laundry list of egregious things that Kyle Shanahan has done, which lets you know that he does not deserve to be a head coach. This right here is the biggest slap in the face to Kyle Shanahan ever. You could take when Sean McVay won it. It was in it was a COVID year. That was shit, man. It was bad. You know what I'm saying? And we set a record for the most money sitting on the bench in the COVID year. So, I mean, we ain't had no choice there. We ain't had no shot. But when you take a look at it, 3 head coaches that came in somewhere around the time that you've been a head coach or you started head coaching, or while you've been one, have gotten the job done. And you have not. That is an indictment on your career. That is an indictment on your intelligence. And that is an indictment on everything that you do. See, at the end of this year, everybody gave Kyle Shanahan the biggest kudos. He was the greatest thing on planet Earth because he took an injured team and he got to the playoffs. And he won one. Not stating that him doing that isn't a good thing, and I'm not appreciative of it. But we've had other years where the man ain't been consistent and we've been injured and we didn't go no damn where. And Brock Purdy was a quarterback. You don't believe me? See the year before. See, this is where I find it hard to believe that people look at Kyle Shanahan as a whole and not look at him in the moment. And the reason I state that is because I know that I cherry pick on Kyle's negatives because there are so many to choose from. While lots of people cherry pick on Kyle's positives. If you look at Kyle Shanahan as a whole, and you want to talk about his coaching career, the man's barely over 500, if I'm not mistaken. I can look it up right now. Let me see. Let me see real quick. All right. Kyle Shanahan is 89-70. That means he's 19 games over 500. But there are, once again, 3 head coaches with shorter tenures that have gotten the job done, while you have not. That, to me, says that my head coach has failed his franchise. You went twice. You lost twice to the same dude. Mahomes, Reed, Spags got you twice. When the playoffs started, I said, this is the year that there's one or two teams, and I didn't state this verbatim, but there's one or two teams that should have won this Super Bowl. And it should have been either us or Buffalo. And the reason being is because for years in Buffalo, the biggest reason that the Bills can't win is a young man by the name of Patrick Mahomes. Every time, hey, what's going on, media? Every time he goes up, every time Josh Allen goes up against Mahomes, you just get obliterated or he finds a way to win Same thing with Lamar. Same thing with everybody. The only person that's beaten Mahomes in the most recent century was Joe Burrow. And then he went on to the Super Bowl to lose to the Rams. Yeah, Super Bowl was bad. I mean, there was no real action until almost the fourth quarter. Well, pretty much into the third, fourth quarter. Other than that, it was a defensive battle. I honestly, I ain't even gonna lie to you. It would be the first time in history, but the kicker deserved the damn MVP. I'm sorry. Because without him, y'all wouldn't have got to where y'all was at. I think the kicker should be the MVP, damn it. And if y'all don't take that kicker in the locker room and celebrate him, something wrong with y'all as a team. And it's not right. Because without his kicks, you wouldn't have had the lead that you had. It was a defensive battle all the way through until mid-third, till about the end of the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, the scoring just started happening. But when you look at what Kyle has done, you've got 2 Super Bowl appearances as a head coach. No Lombardi to show for it. You've got 3 years of consistency out of the 9 you've been here. Other than that, it's up and down. Or it's several years of being bad, 1 year being good, like whatever the case may be. It's always how it works. Yet, Niner fans put you up on this pedestal as if you're Bill Walsh. And I don't understand how. I did see something else that was a little alarming. Al Guido has been promoted to CEO. And the reason I talk about that is because I've been saying for years, Jed York and the Yorks, they don't care about winning. They care about hope. Because you know what hope does? It keeps you buying merchandise. It keeps you buying tickets. It keeps you coming to the stadium. It keeps you patronizing the product. It does not provide actual results. Hope is there because it's all you got. And with Jed York promoting Al Guido to CEO of the 49ers, what that tells me, very simply put, is I'm taking a step back. I don't want to be the public face no more. I'm good. Because in the interview you had with Kay Adams, what was he talking about? All of the other ventures he has going on. All of the things that will be happening in Levi Stadium that have nothing to do with football. Whether it be the World Cup or concerts or this or that. See, that tells me that the reason why, and shout out to my man Tony from Nothing But Niners. Shout out to Mike from Nothing But Niners. Shout out to Nothing But Niners. Nothing But Niners, period. Tony was stating, I caught a short where he was talking about how people compare Eddie D and Jed York, and the fact that Eddie D had carte blanche. He could spend whatever he wanted and it wouldn't make a difference. I have to say I respectfully disagree with Tony's take. I think Eddie D would have figured it out. As far as the salary cap, I think he would have figured it out. I think he would have figured out the loopholes in the system that he could exploit to be able to make sure he had the right people in the building to get the job done. I don't think Jed cares. I think he's more interested in money. Because for you to promote Guido to CEO, and then for you to sit there with Kay Adams and just talk about all of the other ventures outside of the Niners, gives me cause to pause. That tells me you're taking a step back. You need somebody else to be the face of the franchise to take the brunt of all of the frustration that comes from us as fans, and you don't care. Now, I know this offseason we had a lot, much to do about nothing of the stuff, substation thing and all this other stuff and everything under the sun. It was smaller back in the day. Now it's bigger. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes with that. At the end of the day, either way, I honestly think that the reason that we stay injured so much has nothing to do with that substation. It has to do with the fact that we just have horrible training staffs. And those are chosen by who? Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And who oversees them? Jed York. So you got to follow the money. But for me, the reason I state this is because I gave you 3 head coaches who have done what they needed to do and gotten the job done in a shorter span of time than Kyle Shanahan ever has. And it's a failure on his part. I could give you a laundry list of, once again, of reasons why Kyle should not be a head coach, because there have been a bunch of egregious things that he has done since he has been here that would have gotten any other head coach fired. Doug Peterson won a freaking Super Bowl for the Eagles, and they fired his ass, I think, 1 or 2 years later. He actually won. He did it. He did it with Nick freaking Foles. And they fired him. When Sirianni lost the first one, they were like, damn, we don't know about this. Then he won the next one, they were like, oh, okay, all right, we cool. But I say that to say this. It's unfortunate that it happened this way, but this is a full-on indictment of Kyle Shanahan and his coaching career. For you to get smacked in the mouth by a team this bad on the last 2 times that you played them, and for this head coach to be celebrating and shitting on you in your own house, and they had you and Fred up there commentating, I wouldn't want to commentate a damn thing. Now, don't get me wrong. If the bag is right, you know what I'm saying, you go out there and you get your yaper. And I'm pretty sure that's why Fred was up there. I'm pretty sure that's why Kyle was there. They're like, hey, this is your house. Talk to us. Let's see what's going on. Me personally, I'd have been like, what's the numbers look like? Because if the numbers ain't right, I ain't wasting my time. You don't give me 10,000? Nah, I'm good. Don't need to be there. But the reason that I put these things on Kyle is because it will always stick to this, because it is the truth and nobody can deny this. When you win, the quarterback and the head coach 9 times out of 10 get the credit. When you lose, the quarterback and the head coach usually get the brunt of all of the frustration of the fans, of the media, of anyone. In this instance, there's just frustration. The Seahawks won in my house. I got to go to work. I literally have damn near a whole row of people who are going to be looking at me, laughing, shitting on me every chance they get because they won in my damn house. That's as bad as letting somebody come in your house and fuck your wife to no end. And have her sprawled. You got to walk in the room and see her sprawled out. She ain't never been worked like that. He knocked her shit out the frame. You got to come in and clean up duty and see if you can even match what happened in there. And you know you can't. We now have 2 head coaches in our division who have Super Bowl rings and 2 head coaches who don't. Because I don't remember who the Cardinals hired as a head coach. I'm sorry, the Cardinals been a dumpster fire for so long, it's almost irrelevant. But Kyle Shanahan should be ashamed of himself, and he should be looking and going, I need to be active in free agency to get myself a number 1 wideout because JJ's walking. I need to make sure that I hit on damn near every pick in this freaking draft. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Our first round picks have been garbage. Now, I know everybody will say, well, what about Nick Bosa? Nick Bosa missed 2 years with an ACL. And he's not a game wrecker. Nick Bosa by himself is nobody. Maybe 8 to 10. Nick Bosa by himself is Leonard Floyd. If he doesn't have any other help on the line. That's what he is. Not stating he can't create pressure. Not stating he's not good. I'm not stating I want to get rid of him. I'm just telling you, if you're looking at game wreckers, that he is not such. Myles Garrett is a game wrecker. TJ Watt is a game wrecker. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about dudes who it don't matter who's around them, who's by them, who's near them. They're going to go out and you're going to have to deal with cats like that. You know what I'm saying? For as much as he talks trash and as shitty as he is against the run, Michael Parsons, game record. So the frustrating thing for me is I now have a head coach who has been bested by two coaches in his division of getting the job done in shorter spans of time. You have literally had triple the amount of time as Sean McVay and Mike McDonald to get the job done. And they did it in less time. And you haven't. And while a good chunk of Niner fans are okay, because the first thing that will come out of their mouth to give Kyle a pass is, well, you got to be in it to win. Yeah, we're not in it all the time. Remember, when I said 3 years of consistency, I meant that. That was 2021 and 2024. When 2024 to 2025 hit, nada. 2025 to 2026, back in it. 2017, 2018, trash. 2019, Super Bowl, take the L. 2020, Kobe year, ugh. 2021 to 2024, NFC Championship and Super Bowl appearance. Keyword, appearance. Not Super Bowl ring, appearance. See, it's nice to be in the game. It's way more fun when you actually win. And for Kyle to be so nonchalant, like, I got my 3 losses out of the way now, I should have 3 wins coming. Really? Because, see, the losses you're talking about with your father were not as the head coach. If he went to 6 Super Bowls, it was definitely as a coordinator, as a locker room guy. I don't care what it was. And I just saw that Kenneth Walker III is the MVP. And deservedly so. He balled out. He ran, he ran hard. You know what I'm saying? I know they missed Charbonnet. I know Charbonnet is hurting because he would have loved to have been able to be in there and contribute and whatnot. But either way, Charbonnet shouldn't look down on that Super Bowl ring and say, hey, I didn't contribute. What he should do is say, I helped get us there. I know I got injured, but hey, I did my damn job in every which way you can think of. So I'm going to relish this ring and enjoy it and be happy about it. Dag nabbit, you couldn't stop me from celebrating. I know what I did to get the team where we need to be. But watching these other coaches get the job done and watching Kyle Shanahan fail hurts. Watching your rival win in your house, who will be able to shit on you every time they come into your house. You go up to Lumen Field, they look and be like, hey, man, the last time we was here, we whooped your ass. We scored 41 on y'all. Y'all wasn't shit. They can go in your house and go, damn. Hey, man, I remember being here. Hey, what was we doing last time we was in Santa Clara? Oh, shit, we were winning the Super Bowl. These are the things they can hold over your head. And nothing you can do about it. So you want to be smart and mentally strong and tough. But now you got to look at a dude who could basically tell you, I fucked your wife and ain't shit you going to do about it. I came in and I walked into your house. I tied you and your family up. I duct taped every single one of you. And I took all your stuff out and farted in your faces and walked out purposely just because I wanted to be an asshole about it. I wanted you to see what was happening. But once again, 3 head coaches have conquered the mountaintop. You have not. For Cooper Kupp, hey, man, 2 Super Bowl rings, bro. You good. If your money is right and your yaper is correct, shit, you might as well retire, big dog. You got 2 rings. JSN didn't necessarily have the best of games. You know what I mean? He did all right. If you want to take a look at it in the Super Bowl period, let me get that to you really quick. Let me share the screen real quick. You want to look at the numbers? It's very simple. Sam Darnold, 19 to 38, 202 yards, 1 TD. He was only sacked once. Drake May, 27 of 43, 295 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 6 times. The Seahawks defense got home against the Patriots offense 6 times. And I saw one of the I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched some of it. I watched it in bits and pieces. I can tell you right now, the sack that I saw, that man bull rushed him all the way into Drake May's lap and then reached around and took both of them down. That's how dope that was. That was a fantastic sack, damn it. I mean, I don't care what nobody says. So, you got to take a look at it and say to yourself, damn, bro, like, this is crazy. Yeah. And see, I will say this, man. It's frustrating. You know what I mean? It's very frustrating that we didn't have this, man. And I don't see anything good about it. We take a look at the rushing. Kenneth Walker, 27 carries, 135 yards. Not much from the rushing on the Patriots side. You know what I'm saying? Receiving, you had Mac Hollins and Rodamore Stevenson with touchdowns. And then you only got A.J. Barner with 1 TD for the Seattle Seahawks. When you take a look at the sacks, it was Devin Witherspoon, 2 of them from Ernest Jones, 2 of them from Byron Murphy, and 1 from Riley Mills. And Riley Mills was the one where I told you he basically just bull rushed dude right into Drake May's lap. You know what I mean? I know Kenneth Walker got the MVP, but I can tell you right now, I will stick with this and I will continue to say this. Jason Myers deserved that MVP. If I am Kenneth Walker, I know I ain't scored. I'm dead ass walking in there. I don't care that my name is on it. I'm handing it to Jason Myers. I am being a good teammate, a good man, a good human being, and I'm looking and going, without your leg, we were screwed tonight. And because of your leg, we got where we needed to go. It's an unpopular opinion to give a kicker MVP, but at the end of the damn day, without Jason Myers, Seattle ain't winning this game. That man kicked 5 damn field. Jason Myers by himself. Okay, the Seahawks won 29-13. 17 of those points came off of Jason Myers' leg. 17. You take that away, the Patriots win this by 1. So, to me, period, point blank, Jason Myers, you deserve the MVP, buddy. You do, not Kenneth Walker. Not to say what Kenneth Walker did was not, impressive, but at the end of the day, I'm going to give the MVP to a guy that I feel deserves it and who earned it. And I'm sorry, it's not to say Kenneth Walker didn't earn it, but Jason Myers earned it. And with that 17 points, I'm pretty sure that's probably the most. God, let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the most kickers ever scored in the damn Super Bowl. Let me see here. Let me see what we got. Look at that. He just set the record. So it was Jake Elliott had 16 points. Jake Elliott. And I believe that was the one since February 9, 20. Okay, so that was the Eagles kicker. He scored 16. And now, as a new record, 17 by Jake Myers. He deserved that MVP. But what this tells me is that it's scary to see other people do it in shorter spans of time with less and without the excuses, and watch Kyle Shanahan consistently fail. I understand that he is my head coach. I understand a lot of people like him and love him. But at the end of the day, I'm sorry. I've given you every reason to understand why Kyle Shanahan should not be here. We need to move forward and move on. I know everybody's scared of going into purgatory and failing and this, that, and the third. What's the difference? You don't know what you're going to get with Kyle. First 2 years, inconsistency. Third year, Super Bowl. Next year, trash. Next 3 years, NFC Championship or bust. Super Bowl appearance, fail. Year after that, fail. Year after that, take a ragtag team and go to the playoffs and win one game. McVay, couple years, Super Bowl. McDonald, couple years, Super Bowl. Sirianni, couple years, Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan, 9 years, nothing. I don't know what else I need to present to you guys to be able to have y'all understand the truth of it, bro. And stop with this. Like, the biggest issue I have is that Niner fans have now become comfortable with just being competitive. You're okay with it. You don't have the drive. You don't have the need. There's not a competitive fervor inside you that says that we need to win. We want to win. We have to win. Let's do it. Let's go for it. And if this head coach ain't doing it, let's get him the fuck out of here and try to find another head coach that will get us to the promised land and finally get us over the hump. We ain't won not a single Super Bowl in the York era. We've lost 3. 2 of them have been L's that have been taken by Kyle Shanahan. And for him to joke so lightly, like, oh, I got my 3 losses out of the way, so, I should have 3 wins coming. Don't joke about that. That shit ain't funny. It's not funny when you lose a Super Bowl. It's not a game. Don't be lighthearted about it. You should be sad that you're the opposite of your daddy. It should frustrate you that you got your in-division rival in your house celebrating a win. This should frustrate you to no end. It should anger you. It should start a fire in your belly to say, I must be better. Instead, you up on national television joking like it's nothing. Head coach joking about, well, I got my 3 losses out of the way, so I should be all right now. Owner going, well, we got so many different things going on outside of this franchise. I'm not worried. Hey, Al, yeah, you got this. That doesn't make me feel good about my squad. That don't make me feel good about the direction that we have. That does not make me feel good going forward. That scares me. That is that lighthearted, that it's a joke, that it's funny, that it's a game. It's not. You got to take it seriously. And what this tells me is Kyle Shanahan is like, hey, man, look, money going to keep rolling in. York's going to keep a nigga paid. Shit, fuck, I ain't got to worry about nothing. All I got to do is keep them asses in seats, keep that money rolling in, and I will always have a job. That's what you tell the Kyle Shanahan. That's the mindset that he has. Because if I'm not mistaken, in 2019, when we lost the Super Bowl, I believe Jed York came out and said, we're not here to hang NFC championship banners. We're here to win Super Bowls. Mr. York, you've lost 3 of them. Are you here to win Super Bowls? I don't know. I don't know what your idea of winning Super Bowls is, but you only know how to lose them. First Super Bowl you ever got to as an owner, we had to turn the fucking lights out purposely because we were getting blown out by the Ravens. They were whooping our ass. They beat the brakes off us. And then 2 times against Kansas City, we take it out. Spags figures out a way to get Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean? The Harbaugh Bowl. Well, the older brother won. So, for me personally, I'm sorry, bro. You can no longer run your mouth. You can't talk about Super Bowls. You can't say nothing until you get the job done. And there's a lot of people that feel like, oh, well, what if he leaves here and goes elsewhere and wins? Good for him. But I'm tired of watching him fail us. Now we got to deal with this shit year in and year out. We got to deal with the Seahawks, who definitely are fucking fantastic on defense. You held the Patriots 13, and that was barely a 13. That touchdown they had was in garbage time. Didn't really mean much. The Rams are younger, better, faster, stronger. We're older, slower, don't have all the hogs that we need. We truthfully don't have a number one receiver. We don't. You know why? Because somebody about to break JJ off. They about to give Juwan Jennings a serious bag. I see Juwan getting anywhere from 20 to 25 million a year. And I see the 49ers coming in lowballing the shit out of him and failing miserably. Juwan Jennings' agent is Drew Rosenhaus. If you don't know the name, I'm not going to go into who the dude is. Look him up. That's the man. One of the biggest agents in the world. You think Drew finna let Juwan take anything less than 25 mil? You're out of your mind. Now, of course, there have been rumors, hey, he can go to Tennessee. Tennessee got the money. They definitely got the bread. And hell, you go over there, what you doing? Chilling, Robert Saleh, Saleh. That ain't a big deal. So, I'll close on this. I don't know how people can sit here and consistently support Kyle Shanahan when everybody around him is getting the job done and he keeps failing. I need y'all to look at everything outside of 2021 and 2024, and I need you to pay close attention to what he's been doing, how he's been acting, what he's been saying, all of these things. I'm sorry. I am fully of the mindset our owner doesn't care about winning Super Bowls, and our head coach could give 2 shits. Because our owner basically is telling them, hey, keep the masses in the seats, I'll keep giving you contracts. If Kyle Shanahan gets another contract before his current contract expires and he has not won us a Super Bowl, that's now become an indictment on ownership. Because Eddie D wouldn't stand for the shit. Bill Walsh was winning Super Bowls and he pushed him out the fucking door. Hell, Joe Montana was winning Super Bowls. He pushed Joe out the door. So what that tells you is Eddie D in his mind had the forward thinking to say, hey, I need to move forward because there's going to be certain changes in the league happening. Things are going to go down. All these things are going to come into play. Whereas Jed York is just like, well, numbers still look good, so I ain't tripping. Kyle can stay as long as he wants. Kyle said literally in a press conference, they're going to have to push me out the door. May not have been those exact words, but it was pretty much, it was likened to just about that. They're going to have to make me leave before I leave San Francisco. And I'm sorry, man. Like I get it. I get that players wind up going on and having a love for a coach. And they're like, Coach Shanahan does this and he's that. And I like him and this and that. But at the end of the day, I don't care what nobody says. You have to, at some point, start looking and going, I don't know if this dude can get the job done. I don't know if he's the right person to help us get over the hump. It's not working. I'll give you a prime example. I used to work credit card. You know what I'm saying? Doing customer service, basic shit. But our department was not good. So what did the owner of the company do? Our owner, our CEO, whatever you want to call him, he called in a special agent. Shout out Keisha. Keisha came in, and Keisha about, man, I want to say about 5'2", 5'3", max. Maybe even just 5 foot. She came in, she had her heels on. She took everyone off the phones. Every single person. Brought us all in the break room. Had a meeting. Letting us know new sheriff's in town. Shit about to change around here. If you've been here too long, you need to move forward. Can't be stagnant around me on my watch. And what happened? Turned that division around. Saved us from not closing because they were going to close our spot. Saved us from not closing. And then moved on and moved up. That's how you do that. See, when you hire a head coach, when you hire that head coach, your job, your idea is saying, I believe in this person enough to lead my franchise to get us to the promised land and to get us over that hump. That's why I hired you. If Jed York was fully invested in the Niners, he would look at Kyle Shanahan and go, you've been there twice, man. You ain't getting the job done. It's been 9 years, and I still don't have no rings to show for it. I don't like this. I'm not very happy. So I don't know what it takes for people to realize that Shanahan ain't the dude. But if this wasn't an indictment on his career, I don't know what is. It is extremely frustrating to watch an in-division rival win in your home. Knowing you got to play them twice a year, knowing they're going to shit on you every chance they get. But if you're still supporting, the current regime, the Kyle Shanahans, Jed Yorks, John Lynch's, take a look at it, bro. Other people are doing it in a shorter and smoother fashion while we're still over here struggling. That should tell you anything. I know I can't get rid of Jed York because he's the owner and his punk ass ain't going nowhere. Like I said, promoting Al Guido, the CEO, tells me you taking a step back. You don't want to be the public face no more. You don't want to be seen. You don't want to be heard from. You don't want to even be talked about. I believe at the owners' meetings, you're going to sit up there and tell everybody, talk to Guido. He's the man now. I just front the money. He does everything. So we got to figure out how to be able to win. And we got to figure out how to do it soon. Because in these next 2 years, if Shanahan doesn't give us a Lombardi, he needs to go. I've been saying he needed to go for years, especially even after the Trey Lance debacle. That is a fireable offense for any head coach. And I've seen head coaches fired for doing less than that. I watched Steve Wills get 1 damn year in Arizona. 1 freaking year. And I'm actually close by saying this. I'm extremely disappointed in the NFL for the fact that you had, I want to say 8, 9 head coach openings, maybe less, maybe a little. Yeah, I think either around that amount or maybe a little bit less. I think it was 6 to 9. Let's just say that 6 to 9 head coaching openings. Not 1 black person was hired. Not 1. You mean tell me Mike Tomlin wasn't on nobody's radar? I know he's under contract with the Steelers, but you could trade for him. You mean to tell me Brian Flores wasn't good enough? You mean to tell me Shieldhouse wasn't good enough? You mean to tell me there's not that much talent in the African-American community that you could consider them for a head coach, but you could give some of these guys their second and third go-rounds after years and years of experience and you seeing them fail? And it's nothing against these dudes, but at the end of the day, this is something that just has to be pointed out. John Harbaugh ain't won a Super Bowl since, what was that, 2012? 2013? Stefanski ain't never won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these coaches that have been hired are either been given second chances or it's their first go around, but it's just confusing and baffling to me that this is what we're doing. Either way, man, I just want y'all to take a broad look at this from a broad spectrum and ask yourself, do I really believe in Kyle Shanahan? Is he really the guy that's going to get us to the promised land? He's gotten us there twice and he's failed. And we've got other head coaches doing this in shorter spans of time. They're moving. They're going. I see. Quick. This is an indictment on Kyle Shanahan's career. I don't care what no Niner fan says. If you think it is not, you're out of your mind. And I think you might want to go ahead and get your brain checked. You must take this into account. You can't just keep bypassing it like it's nothing. I implore people to start looking at this from a perspective of understanding. I need to have my head coach get the job done. You can't sit up here and joke on national TV. You can't fail and think it's funny. It's not fucking funny to lose Super Bowls. It's not funny that there's a good chunk of our fan base that ain't even seen a dub from us in the Super Bowl. I have the luxury of turning 45 this year. Thank you, Jesus, for that. Thank you, God, for blessing me with 45 years on this planet. You know what I've seen? 4 of those wins. 4. Anyone born after 1995 ain't seen nothing but else. They feel like Cowboys fans. It's hard. So, Jed, you either want to win Super Bowls or you don't. Kyle, you're either going to start taking it seriously and try to find a way to get us over this fucking hump. And you're going to start making the moves that need to be made to make this team great. And we could go out there and get the W and get a Lombardi. Or you're going to continue to watch Mike McDonald and Sean McVay laugh in your fucking face because they got Super Bowls and you don't. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and hanging out with your boy. Tell a friend, tell another friend. I'm out this bitch. Peace.